No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to another week of the Clarence Buggs Show here on the Pelican, broadcasting all across the great state of South Louisiana as we continue dealing with the new norm that is COVID-19. Quick observation. Recently, looking at the number of individuals affected in our state, and particularly at the fatality rate, and the fact that most of them were dealing with long-time chronic medical conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, things of that nature, things which, by the way, disproportionately affect we Louisianians. So I thought we'd start today's show by reaching out to a guy that everybody knows and everybody loves. He is the director of the Governor's Office, the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, former LSU great Rudy Macklin. Rudy, how are you this morning, my friend?
Doing pretty good, my brother. Doing pretty good.
Fantastic. You know, Rudy, I know that you would never be a person to say, I told you so. But when you look at who's being hurt the most by the COVID-19 virus, that has to really strike home with you as the director of the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports.
It does hit home because our biggest thing is we preach prevention. It's about taking care of yourself, owning your own health, as we like to say. And Louisiana is overall is an unhealthy, unwell state. With high pre-existing conditions, high rates of illness, chronic disease, obesity, high blood pressure, hypertension. These things all exist in Louisiana, and this virus is really attacks individuals with these conditions. And by us going out preaching it every day, trying to prepare people for a day like this, it's been an uphill battle to convince people to change or to modify their lifestyles by eating healthy and being physically active. It's really been a challenge.
Now, let's be clear, Rudy, for the record. We're not telling people that you can't eat the Louisiana food that we love. But at the end of the day, moderation is the key, and you've got to get up and move, correct?
That's correct. You hit the nail on the head. Eating in moderation. We have a tendency to overeat. Have you ever noticed when people go to restaurants and they have to-go food in those styrofoam containers?
Right.
It's filled with plenty of food. We have these huge platters that we order, and they give you so much food, you have to take it home. And then when we get home, we fail to really do the little things that will keep us physically active and healthy. Is like just walking, walking for 30 minutes, doing something physically active for 30 minutes a day will go a long way, but we don't do that. We participate in more festivals and parties than anybody in the country. Louisiana has over 100 plus festivals, and there's a festival somewhere every month, and it's all centered around food, unhealthy foods mostly, and adult beverages. And that's where we get in trouble.
Is it ever too late, Rudy, to start the process of becoming more physically fit?
It's never too late. It's never too late, but the biggest suggestion we make to everybody is don't try to do it by yourself. Have a partner or partners to go along with you to motivate each other in case one of you try to fall off the wagon, so to speak. But you must have a partner or partners to start any type of physical activity program or exercise program. But check with your doctor first to see what you can and cannot do before you take on a real serious exercise. But start slow. Start by walking and work your way up. And then one day you can get to that vigorous exercise like I do each and every day.
Now, that's a great segue into the next question, Rudy. With so many parents now being at home with their kids all day, this would be a great time for the whole family to exercise together and come up with creative ways to make it a fun activity instead of a chore, right?
You can do that, and that's a great point. Making it fun, come up with different ideas. The internet is full of ideas and different activities you can do as a family to make it very special and build that camaraderie with your family, especially your children. You can go outside in your yard, front yard, backyard, and do these things, and go up and down your street. Just stay away from people.
Right.
You got a sidewalk-friendly neighborhood, and you can still do these things, but you must continue to be physically active, even though you're in a stay-at-home order, to keep your mind on track and also be physically healthy, man. But it's something you have to do as you increase in age.
You mentioned the internet. This is a great opportunity for people to issue challenges of their own. All your Facebook friends, you do a video at home exercising with your kids, and then challenge your Facebook friends to come up with a more creative and more fun way and get everybody in on the deal, right?
Oh, yeah, it could be fun. You can get music behind it. They have quite a few of those challenges online already, like Instagram and Facebook.
Right.
But you can create your own if you like. And before we had this virus come about, I was organizing a statewide and possibly nationwide celebrity challenge. And I had amassed a number of celebrities to challenge one another in our own health challenges that we have. And but the virus came along and it cut us short. But we're still going to do it when things settle down. But you can challenge anyone at any time all over the world. And so we have the capabilities and the technology to do these things now.
When you and I were growing up, Rudy, physical fitness was not a concern for young people. I mean, we had PE in school. We played outside every day. As soon as we finished homework, we were in rec leagues. We were always in the neighborhood pickup game and all sorts of things. But for today's young people, it's a different story. How important is it to get kids into that habit early in life?
It's very important, but it's very difficult because technology has made us lazy. In the old days, we didn't have cell phones. We had beepers at times. We had to go walk to a phone.
Right.
And we didn't have the internet. We just had to make sure we be creative on our own, and we talked to one another because we played outside. And we rode the bus sometimes, and then we walked everywhere we went, or we rode our bicycles. I used to ride my bicycle all the time to go to the playground to play basketball 2 or 3 miles away because I wanted to play.
Right.
So, kids now, we take our kids to the gym and drop them off, and we come back and we pick them up. Well, I didn't have that luxury back then. All I had was a 5-speed bike, and I had to ride that bad boy to the gym.
Right.
But the technology has made us lazy, and we just have to instill in our kids to monitor our kids' habits when it comes to playing on the internet, browsing the internet, and playing video games and things like that. You have to put a limit to that stuff and make them go outside to play. And some people are kind of concerned about even letting their kids go outside to play by themselves. We didn't have that problem back then.
Yeah. Tell
And
us.
so I just couldn't ride my bike off the block.
Right.
And sometimes when I was real little. But I see kids outside playing now, but their parents are playing with them. And so encouraging them. But when parents encourage kids to be physically active and they participate with them, then the kids will pretty much catch on and stays with them for life. So the parents have to participate with the children when it comes to physical activity.
You mentioned earlier the Own Your Own Health Challenge. It's an amazing challenge. Tell us about it, and how disappointed are you that Louisianians are not more involved, or at least as involved as we could be in the Own Your Own Health Challenge?
Well, Own Your Own Health is a physical activity and nutrition online tracking system where we track your physical activity and nutrition levels online. And we do it in the form of challenges. And we have a challenge where you can have teams of 2 or more people on a team. You can participate as an individual participant and challenge other people from around the country. And also, we have citywide challenges where cities challenge one another. Well, I would go to a particular town and city and meet with the mayor and have the mayor challenge another mayor or other mayors to a challenge to see who can accumulate the most steps or lose the most weight. And also we have churches that challenge one another, fraternities and sororities challenging one another. We have schools challenging one another. And so there are all types of challenges that we can create for you and give you suggestions on ideas and activities you can do as a team or as individuals through our email system. And we have message boards. And pretty soon we're going to have an online virtual coach that will coach you online that I'm working on right now as we speak. And so we have so many things you can participate in, and these challenges are we use Google Maps to, when you put your steps in, it shows you going to a particular popular destination as well.
Right.
But the biggest thing that I like about it is the fact that you can have teammates, and you can talk to other teams and their teammates as well, no matter where you are. And I've been pushing this for a number of years, and the thing that really hurt us is whenever there's a disaster. When I had 24 parishes about to challenge one another, it was my biggest, coup ever that I pulled off.
Right.
We got all these 24 parishes. Well, we had that huge flood come about, and everybody was, devastated and lost their homes and had to rebuild, and it formed a real mental health problem within those 24 parishes, and I never got them back.
Right.
Okay, like I wanted to. Mental health is a big problem here. Whenever there's a disaster here, it's hard to push prevention when it comes to physical activity and nutrition the way we do, because people are still kind of recovering from that. But the Own Your Own Health is still going on, even though we're in the stay-at-home procedures. People that are in the challenges are doing things at home and logging their steps and their miles on the computer, or you can use the Google Fit app or the Fitbit that will sync with our system, and then it'll put the steps and miles in for you. And we have a weight loss portion on it as well, where people challenge one another to see who can lose the most weight. But the thing that's disappointing to me a lot, is the fact that the majority of the people in our challenges are out of state. They participate. 60% of people on the Own Your Own Health challenges are from outside of Louisiana.
Wow.
And it's hard to really convince Louisianians to participate in something like this and track their fitness levels because they have things going on in their lives that's busy, or they just don't want to exercise or stay healthy or eat right. But convincing people to take care of themselves and own your own health is really a tough thing. And the thing that really bothers me more than anything, my other hat that I wear is the Bureau of Minority Health. And disproportionately, minority populations, people of color, suffer disproportionately from high rates of illness and disease, and especially obesity in this state. And so when you see this virus comes and goes, when it leaves out of here, you will see that the majority of people that suffered and died most from this COVID-19 are in communities of color.
Well, when we have you back on next time, Rudy, we're going to talk more about that program. But in the meantime, how can we find out more about the Own Your Own Health challenges and all the other programs offered to us through the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports?
Well, the Own Your Own Health website is OYOHLA.com. And you'll see a clock there, a timer there with the number of days left for the challenges, and just click on the link that says sign up all challenges here, and it'll take you there to sign up, and it'll give you information all about the program. And then we have our Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports with the Governor's Games, which we had to cancel a lot of them and postpone them. But hopefully we'll come back strong in 2021. That's lagovernorsgames.org. And so those are the two programs that I run, and get a lot of attention nationally from these programs. And we're a leader when it comes to things like this, but we need more participation from our citizens of Louisiana. And it's kind of embarrassing to have more people from out of state participate in a top-notch program than the people in your state.
Amen.
So hopefully we get more folks involved.
Tiger Great and head of the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, Rudy Macklin, on behalf of a grateful community, thanks for what you're doing to try to get us to be a more healthy Louisiana. Love you for that, Rudy.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're quite welcome. Rudy Macklin and I talking about the physical ramifications of COVID-19. As he mentioned, ironically, there are some mental aspects as well. Coming up next, after our first break, Stephen Aguillard, Mental Health Clinical Services Director for Capital Area Human Services, talking about how to keep our minds together in the midst of COVID-19. That's up next on the Clarence Bugg Show, right here on the Pelican. Stay with us.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Welcome back to the Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, brought to you on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We are just about statewide. I think we're in about 2/3 of all the cable households in the entire state of Louisiana, and we are so grateful that you chose to spend a little time with us on this Monday. In the last segment, to start today's show, we spoke with Rudy Macklin, the director of the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports, about the physical ramifications and how that all impacts the COVID-19 pandemic. We progress now to the mental aspects. And for that, we reached out to an individual that's been a great friend to media throughout the years, Stephen Aguilar, the Mental Health Clinical Services Director for Capital Area Human Services. Stephen, good morning, and how are you, my friend?
Good morning, Clarence. I'm doing great. I'd like to start off with at least congratulating you on your new platform.
Well, bless your heart. Thank you kindly. So is any group, Stephen, more vulnerable than any other to the emotional stress brought on by a situation like what we're facing right now?
I think the older population, because they need what they're needing, they need the contact. And so we're asking families, reach out to them, teach them how to do FaceTime, teach them how to do Skype, so that they can't get the physical touch, but they get a much better view of somebody, seeing somebody's face and the cues off of that versus than just a telephone call. So I think that's a big deal. They're vulnerable. I mean, I think our kids are very vulnerable at this time also because they're confused. They may not understand some of the things that are going on.
Right. What are some of the normal emotional responses that we adults can expect to experience as a result of being confined at home and or being unemployed, Stephen?
I think anxiety, worry, fear, about your own health, about other people's health, people they're coming in contact with, time off from work, how that's going to affect them financially. There's a lot of concern. Some people, become frustrated, angry. They may be angry that they were exposed to somebody that had the illness. They could be frustrated as far as how long is this situation going to remain? How's it affecting me? Boredom, a lot of ambivalence. So there's this restlessness that sits there. And then isolation is never really good for anxiety, and it's never good for trauma, and it's never good for depression.
Right.
So it's ways to work around the social isolation, which is not social isolation, it's social distancing, and ways to work around that. You had Rudy Macklin on a few minutes ago, and I thought he did an excellent job talking about doing that. So one of the things that I would recommend is, people go take a walk. And when you're walking through the neighborhood, keep your social distance, But you can stop 6 to 10 feet away, say hi, you're seeing a fresh face, you're seeing something other than the four walls.
Right.
Over the weekend, I fixed 2 bikes that have been sitting in my garage so that my wife and daughter have a chance to go ride. And so it's doing little things that are active. He also talked about families working together. And so the busy life that we led prior to COVID-19, everybody's like, I wish I had time to spend more with my family. And now that we have it, it's like, what do we do with them?
Right.
Well, quality time. And that means when you're with your kids, be in the moment with them. How are they doing? Ask them, how are they doing? What do you think about what's going on? And I think the biggest thing to do after that is stay quiet. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to how they're processing, and then help them along. I think another thing is if we're going to be watching TV all the time, limit the amount of COVID-19 coming into the house. We need a certain amount so that we can stay safe.
Right.
But we don't need an overabundance because it traumatizes us.
Right.
And it traumatizes our kids. And if we're walking around anxious all the time, our kids are anxious all the time. So we need to slow that down. And mindfulness or being in the moment with somebody is really a big deal.
What about our kids? What sort of emotional impact, and what is normal for them to experience in instances like what we're dealing with right now, Stephen?
I think we go back to what our experience as far as Louisianians go regarding hurricanes, unfortunate shootings, floods, and that is they get anxious, they get stressed, they get bored, they need attention. Sometimes we can start seeing if they relapse, not relapse, but regress, going back to infant-like things. They may need more attention from their parents. Some of the things we can do to help them, because I think that's kind of where you would go to,
yes,
is the quality time, but get them on some sort of a routine. You know, we can't get them up in the morning and send them off to school as far as the routine goes, but we can do some routine stuff with them. It could be keeping mealtime at a certain time. It could be keeping bedtimes at a certain time. It could be a specific time of the day that we're playing with them.
So are there specific signs that we need to be on the lookout for in the adult population, ourselves, our spouses, as well as the kids?
Sure. You know, unfortunately, during these times when people are close together, we may see an increase in domestic violence and stuff like that. So we need to watch for those things. Usually that's preceded by people are not working towards common goals, but they're irritated, they're agitated. Some of that is because they've got the media going on in the background constantly talking about COVID-19.
Right.
So if you can get families to work together, it cuts down on stuff. So let's create 1 or 2 projects a day. Maybe we'll clean out the pantry. Maybe we'll work on part of the garage. Maybe we'll learn how to play a game. You know, from Rudy was talking about, you know, eating is a big deal. So maybe we can pick out 1 or 2 meals over the next couple of days that we have ingredients already at home, and we could cook a healthy meal together. So we're working together.
Right.
You know, the irritability is probably the biggest thing. Silence, kind of isolating inside of the social isolation. And so if they're at home and they're pulling back, staying alone, staying away from themselves, not really talking to people, that's not good.
What about increases in alcohol and drug use and abuse? Does that typically rise as far as the percentage and the severity when a society like ours finds itself dealing with the situation like the COVID-19 pandemic?
Absolutely. You know, people are drowning their sorrows. And unfortunately, we are a society that likes to drink as far as Louisiana goes. And so it's not something we should turn to. It causes more issues for us than it does help us, because when people are drinking or they're using drugs, a lot of times it drops their inhibitions and they say things or do things they would not likely be doing if they were sober. And so staying away from that is really a big deal. You know, there are still groups and stuff that are active online for people to get help.
Domestic abuse, I would imagine, probably rises during times like this as well, Stephen?
Absolutely.
Signs that we can be on the lookout for?
For domestic abuse?
Yes.
I think it's the same signs you would look for otherwise. People are isolate. They don't want to get around or out to other people or be around. They stop talking to family. So their loved ones outside of the home, they don't feel comfortable talking to. They get embarrassed. They don't know how to get away from that.
Right.
You know, but as far as domestic abuse goes, 911, we have several domestic groups in Baton Rouge and surrounding areas that do a tremendous job at helping these people to avoid it. You know, if you feel the frustration, the anger, get out of your house, go for a walk, go sit in your backyard. You know, get away from the media, get away from things that are causing so much tension, and try to just stay in the moment.
Have you been in contact with your peers around the state as far as what adjustments they've had to make in serving their clients in the midst of this pandemic and the stay-at-home order, Stephen?
I haven't been in touch with many of them. I know on our side we're doing things daily. You know, we had to get telehealth up and running, and so we're calling our clients. We're doing video conferencing, sessions with them. We have, instead of walking down the hall to converse with a nurse or a doctor, you're having to do it through email or telephone call in order to meet the needs of the clients that we serve. And I think we're doing an excellent job doing that.
It's also, I would imagine, pretty incumbent upon many individuals that may know someone who had been battling some mental health problems and may be on medication. Kind of important that we, throughout the course of this pandemic, despite the stay-at-home order, that we stay on top of these individuals and be sure that they are, in fact, keeping to their medication regimen?
You're exactly right, Clarence. And so medication is a big deal because during these times of stress or whatever, it can increase emotional instability in people. What we've done is try to mitigate clients and mitigate staff's exposure to this. So we've set up pods at one of our clinics that do injections. So there are some people, they take injections for some of the psychotropic medications,
right,
instead of the oral. And so this helps ensure that they have the medication in their system to help them. We want to make sure that we're open to meet those clients' needs, and we are, to meet their needs. We're answering the telephones. We've got operators there today, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30. We've got multiple people on telephones. We've got a clinician who's on site there to answer these calls and then disperse to whatever clinics they may have been going to so that their needs can be met. And then we're being proactive, going back 2-3 months of clients we've been seeing and checking with them.
So how can our viewers find out more about Capital Area Human Services and the services offered there, Stephen?
So they can go to cahsd.org, and that's our website. And on that website, on the right-hand side in red, it has coronavirus resources. So that's a good resource they can go look at, and it'll talk about some of the things that you and I talked about. Mm-hmm. They can call into, our number, 225-925-1906. So that's available for them. And then on Facebook, we've got a Facebook page, Capital Area Human Service District, and we're putting out a lot of information through that social media platform to try to help keep everybody informed as far as what we're doing and how to help them best.
Stephen Aguilar, Mental Health Clinical Services Director for Capital Area Human Services. Great information as always, and great to hear your voice again, my friend. Stephen, thank you kindly.
Clarence, thank you. I appreciate it. Stay safe.
Take care, my friend. All right, when we come back, we will spend a little time with you talking about the fact that all of you now at home with the kids, there's a possibility, aghast, because with limited resources now, that utility bill of yours may be trying to get up through the roof. We'll spend a little time speaking with the good folks at Demco, David Latona in particular, on how to keep that bill down. That's coming up after this commercial break on the Clarence Buggs Show, right where you've got it, on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Welcome back to the Monday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show right here on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. So very grateful that you've decided to spend some of your Monday here with us. You know, now that so very many families are at home for the complete duration of the day, there is the possibility that there's something else for you to worry about. Those of you particularly that are unemployed, those of you that are working reduced hours, now there's also the possibility that with the entire family being under one roof all day, every day, you could be incurring a massive utility bill that, according to your resources, you're not particularly prepared to handle. So in that vein, we reached out to David Latona, the Vice President for Marketing and Member Services for DEMCO, the electric co-op, to find out some of the things we can do to keep that utility bill in check. David, good morning, and how are you, my friend?
Good morning, Clarence. Doing really good. How are you?
I am well, David. Thank you for asking. Let's start with the big power consumer in most homes, the air conditioning system. What are some of the things we can do to keep that beast in check, David?
I'll tell you what, the first thing that's the most user-friendly is certainly that thermostat. We can control that thermostat and the temperatures that we can bear, the temperatures that make us comfortable, can cost us money. But I tell you what, each degree you change it, that can save you money. If you want to raise that thermostat just a couple of degrees, it can save you money. Just a couple of degrees could equal percentages on your electric bill that you could actually see. And there's other things you can do, like the regular maintenance of that unit certainly does make it run more efficient. So whether that's seasonally you would do that, but to have a licensed professional come and maintain that unit, but also just changing that air filter that's found inside. That's what any homeowner can do, or you get someone to help you, a loved one to help you that lives in that home, that change that air filter on a regular basis. I like to do mine the beginning of every month. I just go ahead and change that air filter. It's a low-cost maintenance item that I can do on my air conditioning unit to help it run more efficiently.
With the whole family being at home all day long, David, that refrigerator is probably getting a pretty good workout, or at least the refrigerator door. What about that appliance, David?
It certainly is. I tell you what, it's hard not to go past that kitchen and what we call go shopping at the refrigerator door.
Right.
And that's something that if you have young people in your home, you have to tell them, hey, look, let's how about we eat at meal times and we no longer shop in front of the refrigerator door. But yes, when
Right.
you can also change the setting on those refrigerators to, you don't want it the refrigerator to be so cold that it's freezing the item, so you set that refrigerator, it's a dial that's usually found at the top of that refrigerator opening, but put it on 6 or 7. It doesn't need to be all the way on 10. We don't need to freeze the strawberries that are in there.
Right. What about washers and dryers? Obviously, kids being at home more, and we encourage them to get out and play more. Distinct possibility you're going to have more dirty clothes than ever piling up in the hamper in your home. Washers and dryers.
Is true. That is true. I tell you what, the first thing is the clothes that are not super dirty, I would recommend they wash their clothes on the cold water setting, not necessarily the hot water setting every time. Let's save that for the clothes that are really dirty, for the young boys that have been out there digging in the dirt and riding their bikes, and let's get those with the hot water. But let's save the hot water for the really dirty clothes. But another thing, Clarence, that your viewers can do is to make sure that that washer is at capacity. Now, I'm not saying to cram it so full that it can't handle what's in it, but certainly fill it up. Let's not wash a load that's only got 4 or 5 pieces of clothes in it, and then you've ended up filling an entire tank with water. The agitator goes, and it's really intended for a larger load. Let's save that for those loads that are full.
And I would imagine peak operating hours are something to take into consideration when running both that washer and dryer?
They certainly are, and it's best to run that dryer because the hot air can be vented out of your home. However, some of that hot air gets in your house, and the temperatures are getting warmer. So I certainly would recommend, if you are at home all day long, don't do the laundry whenever it's the middle of the day, when it's the hottest part of the day. Save that dryer time for the mornings and the evenings when it's not as hot in the house. But then also, Clarence, something your viewers can do is to dry in a cycle. Like dry one load of clothes and get another one right in there from the washer so that the dryer is still warm from the previous load. It doesn't have to rewarm itself.
And of course, if you're old school like me, I get the sneaking suspicion clotheslines may start to make a little bit of a comeback too, huh, David?
I tell you what, there's nothing like smelling a freshly dried towel that's sun dried. Isn't it nice? But that certainly could make a comeback, and especially like I mentioned, towels. That is something that does take time in that dryer. But if you can you can use a clothesline to air dry those towels, that can save you a tremendous amount of energy.
What about our electronics? Obviously, we are using them more and more. A lot of it work-related, a lot of it simply dealing with boredom. Let's talk about computers, monitors, big screen TVs. How should we treat them, particularly when not in use?
Sure, I'll tell you what, Clarence, there's kind of a rule of thumb that when an appliance requires a fan to cool it down, it's using a lot of power. So that's your computers and your monitors that have a cooling device in them. But I would say that when a television or a monitor or a computer, when they're not in use, it's best to turn them fully off.
Okay.
There are sleep modes you can set on televisions that can make that television turn off when not in use, but can also turn it totally off so that it doesn't have power running through it, even when it appears to be off. That can happen as well. Some folks set up a surge protector, and they'll plug into that surge protector, and they'll turn the power off to that surge protector for their computers and their televisions so that they know for sure they are totally off. You can imagine all night long, if a TV has power running through it, if it's in a sleep mode but still has power going through it, it can consume a lot of power for no reason.
And during the course of normal operation, just about all appliances and electronics these days have a power saver mode, do they not?
That's right. If you can find that manual and look for that power saver mode setting for all of your electronics. Now, another thing I would recommend is if you have a charger that's plugged into the wall, unplug it from the wall if you're not charging a device. Those little transformers can use power as well. That little block that we use for our phones or laptops or iPads, that can use power when it's plugged into the wall and not even charging a device.
Obviously now, with the stay-at-home order encompassing so many individuals, people are cooking at home a lot more, David, because of the COVID-19 situation. What about our ranges, our ovens? Any tips to help us out there?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I know that we are coming off of a run of some beautiful weather, but it's going to warm up here. And I would recommend, if you, I don't want to say stranded, but if you are at home go outside and cook on the grill, or use a slow cooker. A slow cooker instead of your oven will not heat up that entire kitchen on those hot days. So whether it's a slow cooker, an electric pressure cooker, or grilling on the grill outside, get outside so you're not heating up the whole kitchen.
Right.
You're not having to condition the air inside your home. Once again, we get back to that air conditioning use.
Obviously, we as human beings cannot get along without our precious water. The source that heats that water for us in our homes, our water heaters. Let's talk about that, David.
Sure, that is the second most energy-consuming appliance that we have in our homes. But we can certainly make sure, number one, make sure that the thermostat on your water heater is set at a comfortable level so that you're not overheating water either in your attic or in your home in that water heater that you don't need. So there's also, if someone's in the market for replacement, there's demand heating water heaters. It doesn't have a tank.
Right.
It only turns on whatever that water is when you demand that you have hot water. So that's another Energy Star type appliance that one can invest in and save money.
Finally, let's talk about natural light and how it affects our homes and apartments. Blinds, curtains, ceiling fans. How can we more efficiently use all of those to keep that AC bill down?
Absolutely. Ceiling fans can move that air and cool you down in a tremendous amount. Even in the heat of summer, that moving air can be pleasant inside your home. And what I like to do, especially in the springtime, I guess is the most convenient, is open up those blinds in the morning and get them closed in the afternoon. We don't want that afternoon heat coming in. You know, in South Louisiana, we have to worry about the heat in the springtime that others don't. But close those blinds and curtains that are facing the west in the evening time.
Right.
Keep that room or side of the house from getting too hot. And a good set of blinds can be priceless when you're trying to save energy.
David Latona, Vice President for Marketing and Member Services for DEMCO. It is always great to talk with you, my friend. You always give us great information. Thank you for the time, and stay safe, David.
Great, Clarence. Thanks so much.
You're quite welcome. All right, when we get finished with our final break of this hour, I want to talk with you, our great listeners and great viewers across South Louisiana. What should we learn from all of this? The COVID-19 pandemic, the stay-at-home orders. 225-831-1029. Grab a line and let's talk. 225-831-1029. We'll talk with you when we come back from our final commercial break on the Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, right where you've got it, on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Back to the Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. We are so very grateful that you've allowed us into your homes, into your mobile devices, and hopefully into your hearts as well as we launch the new Clarence Bugg Show on television. If you'd like to take us with you, any and everywhere you go, two ways you can do this. Number one, probably the preferred way, download the Pelican Broadcasting app. Put it on your mobile device. That way, you're never away from Louisiana folks talking about Louisiana stuff anywhere you go on the planet. You can also go to our website and check out the stream there, PelicanSportsTV.com. Either download the Pelican Broadcasting app or check us out on the website and the stream there at PelicanSportsTV.com. So, what should we learn as we approach what some are saying could be, and we stress could be, the near halfway point of all of this? What would you like to see us come away better as a society as a result of all this? Personally, I think the number one thing that we need to learn from all of this is just how woefully unprepared our healthcare industry and the individual states are for a pandemic like this. This is despite having gone through the AIDS epidemic, the SARS virus, the MERS virus, the Ebola virus, the Zika virus, all these various outbreaks. And yet and still, it appears as though the United States as a nation, and particularly the individual states as separate entities, were all caught with our pants down on this thing. That is absolutely unforgivable. This should not happen. It's not as though this was the first time we've encountered something that could have pandemic effects on a global scale. We've had ample opportunity before now to get ready for something like this. And quite frankly, when you talk with people these days and you get a feel for the fear that so many people have, it is akin to what we've gone through recently behind Zika, behind Ebola, all of the virus outbreaks that have threatened to explode in this country. And yet, we still find ourselves scrambling at this point in it all. Secondly, hopefully the individual states will now understand that the federal government was never designed to be our collective daddy. They just weren't. The individual states, as sovereign states, are responsible for their own. And hopefully now, as the next fiscal year rolls around, states all across this union will start to realize the money that we had planned to spend on this program, that program, the other program, maybe we need to pare that back and use the remaining money to build our own stockpiles of things that we may need. Just imagine, if you will, God forbid, this becomes a seasonal virus. Then there is a distinct possibility that we will entertain coronavirus COVID-19 again and again and again. We cannot And as a conservative, I will quickly profess we should not expect the federal government to come riding in on a shiny white steed every time we find ourselves facing a virus that could put us to our knees economically, physically, and mentally. The Founding Fathers were oh so wise in crafting this representative republic that we reside in. Let's understand something here. For those of you that slept through physics class, this is not a democracy. It is a representative republic. And we, as individual states, have certain rights and responsibilities reserved for each and every one of us. This is something that should never happen to us again. Now, obviously, none of us have a crystal ball where we can look into the future and predict everything that is going to happen down the road in years to come. But when it comes to something of this nature, we should never find ourselves again in scramble mode. We have to learn to live within our means. And one of the things that coronavirus pandemic has proven to us is that we cannot be unprepared from a medical standpoint to get a grip and a handle on something like this as early as possible and for the duration of that event. So, state representatives, state senators, governors, now is the time. Start pouring through those budgets and realize we've got to live within our means, and also realize that there is something there. There's a hole in that budget that needs to be filled. And quite frankly, there's not a whole lot more that I can think of right off the top of my head than the health of the residents of all the respective states and collectively the United States of America. That's just my opinion. Secondly, I hope that this will be a serious wake-up call for my fellow Louisianians. For far too long now, we have found ourselves at the top of the bad lists and the bottom of the good lists. One of the bad lists particularly that hurts me personally as a Louisianian is our standing as far as our physical health is concerned. Diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, things of that nature. For far too long, we've been at the very top of that list. And quite frankly, you and I complain a lot of times. Clarence, I don't know what them folk in Washington are thinking about, how they're spending our tax dollars, and all the things that are beyond our control. Well, these are the things that are firmly within our control. No one can stop you from exercising after you eat that oh so calorie-rich food that we love here in Louisiana. No one can stop you from going on the internet and looking for a heart-healthy recipe for the things that we love to chow down on here in Louisiana. And no one can stop you from saying, you know what, I think I'll only get 1 scoop of etouffee on my rice instead of 2. These are things that are firmly within our control. And the sooner we decide that we are going to control what we can control, the healthier we're going to be and the better off we're going to be. Just imagine if we had taken Rudy Macklin's Own Your Own Health Challenge much more seriously 3-4 years ago. Think how much healthier we would be right now, and more important, how we could have mitigated the physical ravages of something like COVID-19 on the bodies of our fellow Louisianians. Listen, I never said it would be easy. You will never hear me say it's going to be all that pleasant. But at the end of the day, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the single step. We've got to start somewhere. And quite frankly, COVID-19 is a wake-up call that we need to start, and we need to start right now. At the end of the day, it's our parents, our grandparents, our kids, and our beloved state that we're talking about. That's what's at risk here. And, you know, nothing against the other 49 states, the District of Columbia, nor the United States territories. But for this South Louisiana boy, there's nothing more important than my fellow Louisianians. But hey, that's just me. Just saying. Top of the hour break. We will get this one done, and we'll start next hour talking about prescription meds. A lot of folks hoarding them, a lot of folks panicking. Can I get them? Will I be able to get them? We'll talk with a pharmacist next. Stay close.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back as we start hour 2 of the newly reconstituted Clarence Bugg Show right here on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. So very grateful that our listeners, our viewers, y'all forgive me, I've done radio for like 40 years, so listeners is what naturally comes out of my mouth. Got to get used to saying viewers now. Of course, a lot of you may be doing chores at home and the like, so you got the TV on, you're actually listening and not necessarily viewing. Either way, we are glad to have you along all across South Louisiana. We start this hour talking about something that a lot of people that are dealing with medical problems and taking medications may have been concerned about. When the stay-home order was issued, a lot of people, their first concern is, what am I going to do about getting my medications? So I reached out to a young man who is a great public servant here in Baton Rouge. He and his brother and a great staff of folks own and operate Parker's Pharmacy here in Baton Rouge. So we welcome to the show, to start hour number 2, Kyle Palmer, pharmacist and co-owner of Parker's Pharmacy. Kyle, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Clarence, and thank you for having me on the show.
You're quite welcome, big guy. Some people, Kyle, may be tempted to hoard medications right now. Is that necessary from your standpoint?
I don't think anyone should hoard any of their medications. First thing first, you want to make sure that you're adhering to what your physician has said and you're taking your medications as prescribed. So if it's a situation where you need to take something twice a day, please take it twice a day. Don't try to hold off for something later on. You should still be okay.
Right. As far as the shelf life is concerned, do any medications traditionally last longer than others, or does it vary medication to medication?
It varies, but for the most part, a year after that filling date is recommended to dispose of the medication if you haven't used it thus far.
So what are the best ways for us to store our medications to get the best shelf life, Kyle?
We want to avoid high temperatured areas. We definitely don't want to put it right by a window where the sunlight is shining directly on that bottle of medication. So anywhere that's not in an area where the temperature is high, and of course, if you have refrigerated insulins and eye drops and different things like that, you definitely want to keep those refrigerated.
Typically, as best as we know so far, does humidity, something that just is unbearable at times in South Louisiana, does that affect the shelf life of our medications as well?
It definitely can, but most importantly, if like I said, if most elderly have a medicine cabinet, and we recommend have a medicine cabinet or put it in one centralized location. But if the humidity gets high, like it normally gets out here, just make sure you keep it in a cool area.
Did I hear you right earlier when you were talking about the expiration, the shelf life of a medication? You said typically up to in the neighborhood of a year past that expiration date, it can still be effective?
No. A year after the field date, if you haven't used it, then we recommend that you go ahead and just dispose of it properly.
Okay. I wanted to be sure that I understood you correctly. Should a person ever use someone else's prescription medication, even if it's for the same ailment? And I ask this, Kyle, because I can imagine someone at home about to run out of a medication. They're trying to adhere to the stay-at-home order, or for whatever reason, maybe they can't get to a pharmacy, and someone will know that and say, well, look, I've got some blood pressure medication that I can let you use until you're able to get yours refilled. Is that ever a good idea, Kyle?
Absolutely not, Clarence, for a couple of different reasons. You want to make sure that there are drug-to-drug interactions, so you just never know if you're actually taking the exact same medication that was prescribed for you, but also prescribed for someone else that you might be sharing that medication. So you don't want to risk it and think you're taking one blood pressure medication, but it's actually something different than what you normally will take, and it could be a possible drug-to-drug interaction and cause further damage to yourself.
Right.
Currently, during these times right now, we know a lot of physicians that are doing telehealth.
Yeah.
They're taking you a phone call. You can just give them a call, and or a video call to get your medications sent into the pharmacy that way. So we won't recommend that you should, share. We never would recommend that you should share any of medications with others.
This would be a great time, would it not, Kyle, for individuals that have elderly parents, grandparents, so on and so forth, to compile, and keep a list of all medications that their loved ones are currently taking, just in case you need to call paramedics for whatever, you need to consult a physician or a pharmacist. You will have that information easily at your disposal.
Correct. Anything that we can do right now to make it easier for you guys, we have a ton of information. So we're doing our normal day-to-day, but we're also delivering from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at our pharmacy. But it's a lot of people that's giving us a call that may not know a physician or may not have a family doctor, that they normally go to, So we have a lot of physicians on call that we've spoken with that are helping patients daily, get what they need right now medically.
obviously one of the big concerns among us regular people, us lay people, is the supply chain. We look at our grocery stores and we see how many of them on occasion have become depleted of certain items. As far as you know, have pharmacies been having problems securing any particular medications because of the COVID-19 pandemic?
Not so much right now. You know, they have been having drug shortages before COVID-19 and drug recalls, but nothing drastic at the moment. However, if that does present itself to us, we will recommend an alternative for your physician to write for something similar that we can keep in stock.
You know, your pharmacy was way ahead of the game in offering free home delivery of prescription medications. Have you noticed a lot of other pharmacies now doing this with the stay-home orders? And quite frankly, I know you're a humble guy. I don't want to put you in a position of patting yourself on the back, but it's got to feel pretty darn good, Kyle, to know that your pharmacy was way ahead of the curve in serving your customers in this regard.
No, totally understandable. Yeah, no, we're here for our community. We totally believe in if you stay ready, you won't have to get ready in many aspects of our lives. So one of the services that we have been providing to our patients and community since we opened the pharmacy was free prescription delivery.
Right.
COVID-19 is changing up the way a lot of companies are doing business right now. We're just thankful to already have that system in place, but not only other pharmacies, I'm seeing a lot of other businesses turn to free delivery. And it's key right now. If you're not delivering and you're in a business, you're going to slowly fall. You know, and that's the real reality of everything. But right now, Larry, Larry. I say Clarence. Right now, I apologize. Right now, we're doing about 60 deliveries a day.
Wow.
You know, whether you're at home, a nursing home, a facility, we're coming to you to deliver. And right now, we're averaging around 60 a day. When before COVID-19, we were averaging around 30 a day.
Wow. So let me be sure I heard that correct, because I may have to use this one. Stay ready and you won't have to get ready. Is that the way you said it?
That's exactly right. You know, whether that's your business, whether that's personal, whether that's your mental health, whether that's your physical health, if we stay ready, we don't have to get ready.
Wow. I love it. Kyle Palmer, pharmacist and co-owner of Parker's Pharmacy. Always great to hear your voice. Say hi to your brother and to the staff, and thanks for the services that you're providing to our community. We love you for that, Kyle.
Hey, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too, my friend. They were way ahead of the game in serving communities. And I guess, you know, when you're a young guy and you love your community, it's what you do. And that, you know, despite all the other things that we find ourselves facing these days, is one of the reasons why I still love my Louisiana more than any other place on the planet. So let's see. So far today, we have covered the physical ramifications of the COVID-19 pandemic. We have covered the mental ramifications of the COVID-19 pandemic. We've also talked about the utility aspects with David Latona of Demco, and of course now the pharmaceutical aspects. Later on today, bottom of the hour, we're going to talk more about the financial impacts and hopefully how some money that's already out there that belongs to you, we'll figure out how to help you get your hands on that. State Treasurer John Schroeder for the great state of Louisiana will join us at the bottom of the hour to talk about some things that are underway in the Treasurer's office to help you and I out as far as getting our money back in our pockets, and also talking about some resources that the Louisiana State Treasurer's office has to help us all out with COVID-19. Tell you what, let me get this first break of hour 2 out of the way, and we'll be back with more of the Clarence Buggs Show right where you've got it, right here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Welcome back to the Monday edition, hour 2 of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Want to remind you, guys and girls, we would consider it a personal favor if you'd help spread the word to your friends and your neighbors that South Louisiana, well, Louisiana in general for that matter, because the show is shown in 2/3 of all cable households in the entire state of Louisiana. So now, South Louisiana has another vehicle for South Louisiana folks to talk with other South Louisiana folks. And there I go again. Louisiana folks. Forgive me. Old habits die hard. Louisiana folks talking with other Louisiana folks about the problems and the issues facing Louisiana folks. Now, all that being said, go ahead today, make it a point. And the good thing about some of this is, or at least a little bit of a silver lining, I would venture a guess that parents in the last 3 weeks have learned more about the use of their individual electronics than any 3-week span in recent memory. You've got your kids right there now. And as we all know by now, if there's something you need to know about your laptop, about your cell phone, about your tablet, and you can't figure it out, go to your kids. They know it. I mean, it's as though they came out of the birth canal with the manual in their hands. Don't know how to download the Pelican Broadcasting app? Go to your kids. They'll have it down for you, lickety-split. And that way, you can take us with you any and everywhere you go. Also, obviously by now, I would think every single person on the planet knows how to go to a website, PelicanSportsTV.com. PelicanSportsTV.com. The website is there, and of course, the live stream is there as well. Either way, we encourage you, if you're not at home with the luxury of sitting in front of the TV, and let's be clear here, this too shall pass. One day, we will start a return to normalcy, and you may as well prepare for that now. And if you've already, become familiar with the website, you've already downloaded the app, when you go back to work, you'll still be able to tune in and stay in touch with us. Also, the Exiles, as you probably saw in the commercial break, Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher, Louisiana's talk team, we're all back together now on the Pelican. Yours truly here at the desk, Mondays and Wednesdays. Bill Profita, Kevin Gallagher, exact same spot on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you're just finding out about us, also, we replay the show every night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, same hours, but PM instead of AM. 10 p.m. tonight until 12 midnight, the show will replay. We'll do it again Tuesday, do it Wednesday and Thursday as well. So if you miss us during the regular time for the live airing in the morning, be sure to tune in and catch the replay that occurs each night from 10 p.m. until midnight. During the last break, some, I want to say encouraging news, but we'll have to wait and see what the numbers say. Was able to sneak a peek at one of the major news networks during the course of the last commercial break, and New York Governor Cuomo saying that they are seeing a possible flattening of the curve in New York. As everyone knows now, New York, like New Orleans, one of the major hot spots in the United States of America as far as the COVID-19 pandemic is concerned. Governor Cuomo announcing this morning that, quote, we are seeing a possible flattening of the curve. Now, we don't say that so that individuals can think, okay, we're past this now, it's all downhill from here. Quite frankly, it's the exact opposite. Now is the time to put the pedal to the metal as far as the things that we've been attempting to do over the last 2 to 3 weeks to flatten the curve. Now more than ever, social distancing becomes more important. Now more than ever, frequent hand washing, using antibacterials, using hand sanitizers, that becomes more important than ever. Because at this point, the governor's words, quote, we are seeing a possible flattening of the curve. So the last thing we want to do is exhale prematurely and end up negating whatever flattening of the curve had actually occurred. Now's the time, more than ever, to bear down on all of this, and let's be sure that we continue the possible progress that's being seen in what is arguably the hot spot in the entire United States of America. As of last night, and I apologize, I don't have this information at my disposal as we speak. I will effort to get it for you before we leave air today. Don't know when the next briefing will be from Governor John Bel Edwards, but as of last night, here in the great state of Louisiana, 13,010 cases, confirmed cases of coronavirus here in the Bayou State. 477 deaths as a result of confirmed cases in our state. We have, in fact, found out that the federal government is sending more resources our state's way, particularly ventilators in particular. So that's always good news to know that more resources are heading our way to help us combat the COVID-19 pandemic. Again, just because we know more resources are headed our way, it is not the time to relax our guard. Until the all clear has been sounded, we need to progress in our state, particularly more so than others because of the numbers and the per capita impact on Louisiana. We need to progress as though nothing has happened in our favor. We'll have time to celebrate later on. We'll all have time to relax our guard later on. But as it stands right now, it should continue to be pedal to the metal all the way through. It is one of those things that, quite frankly, being creatures of habit, the human species, we should all be pretty much used to by now. And listen, this is not in any way, shape, or form to downplay the cabin fever, the stir craziness, for lack of a better phrase, or if I could make up a phrase if need be. I understand. I'm going through it as well. We're all dealing with it. But when all is said and done, it is amazing what you can get used to if you do it long enough. And quite frankly, Americans in particular, and it's probably true for every society around the world, but if it helps at all, think of it this way. Right now, there are a lot of us saying something we never thought we'd find ourselves saying. I'll sure be glad when I can go back to work. This from the very same people who get up, many cases, every day hating to have to go to work. But just imagine, again, some of the idiosyncrasies, the quirks, if you will, of being a human being. It's not going to be long after we get back to work where we will find ourselves saying, oh man, I'm so tired of work. Boy, I wish I was at home right now. Well, you've had 3 weeks plus now of being at home. Count your blessings, y'all. It's amazing what you can get used to. And listen, I understand, just like work, you can become bored with routine. Gesundheit, Marty. Good thing you're 6 feet away. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. 12 feet. There you go. There you go. Since it's only 2 of us anywhere near the building, I'll take that. But for many people, we get bored with routine. I get that. But this is an opportunity for the creative juices to flow. It's an opportunity for you to take a little time, and the good thing is you don't have to be rushed. You can sit down with the kids and come up with creative ways to not only entertain yourself, but also start that journey to reversing the trend of Louisianians being at the top of the bad list and the bottom of the good lists. No better time, and certainly no better reason than to do this. And quite frankly, if you're having a hard time doing that, again, it's the age of social media. Ask your Facebook friends. Ask the folks on Twitter. We can't come up with anything all that creative to do. What are you all doing? Folks would love to share that information with you. And then once you get those ideas, put your own little personal spin on it, repost it on social media, and you never know. You just might end up being a viral sensation. You never know. Anything is possible. And of course, the old adage, necessity is the mother of invention, certainly comes into play at this time. Listen, guys, girls, we will get through this. This too shall pass. And hopefully, we will have used this downtime in such a manner that we will all be better for what we have gone through and continue to go through as we work our way through the COVID-19 pandemic. Your finances. A lot of you worrying about where that next check is going to come from. The good news is, for a lot of Louisianians, there's a check already there waiting for you. No, it's not a stimulus check from the federal government. It is hundreds of millions of dollars of your unclaimed property. We're scheduled after this final break, after this bottom of the hour break, to spend some time with State Treasurer John Schroeder, who is doubling up efforts to expedite getting your money back where it belongs in your pocket. And quite frankly, how many of you out there right now, if you found out you could get more of your money back in your pocket, would say, nah, that's okay, don't need it? Show of hands? Yeah, that's what I thought. Let me get this bottom of the hour break out of the way. We'll do so, and we'll continue hour 2 of the Clarence Buggs Show right where you've got it on the Pelican. Stay close.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can taste the feeling.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Exiles from what you ask, exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Welcome back to Hour 2 of today's edition, the Monday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. And again, a very special thank you to our viewers all across the state that chose to give us the opportunity to spend a couple of hours of their day with them in their homes. We appreciate it sincerely. As I mentioned, heading into the last commercial break, right now, money is at a premium for so many Louisianians. And we were hoping to have the opportunity to tell you that some money is on your way and some expedited efforts are being made to get your money back in your pocket. And no, we're not talking about the stimulus checks. We're talking about a super effort by one of our true public servants, our state treasurer, John Schroeder. Treasurer Schroeder, good morning, sir, and how are you today?
Yes, we're busy, but I can't complain. We're all healthy and figure out how do we work in an environment that's different than what we're used to. But I'm used to going around and seeing my staff and my division leaders daily, and now I have to communicate with them on a conference call daily. Mm-hmm. But all's good, and we're finding out that there are different ways to accomplish the same mission.
You and your office announcing last week that you were ramping up efforts to get portions of the unclaimed property accounts back into the hands of Louisianians that obviously sorely need that extra money right now. What was the impetus for your office sending out those checks last week? How much did you send out, and are you looking to improve on that effort?
Well, first of all, unclaimed property is lost money. This is real money. It's not tax dollars that belong to the state. This is monies that come to the state to be the good steward and to protect it and to create a program to return this money to the citizens. So it's been going fantastic, and we announced that we would be sending out $4 million in checks. It's about 44,000 people will receive these checks. They had started going out early last week, and will continue Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday into this week. Mm-hmm. Just the Baton Rouge region alone, it's about $700,000.
Wow.
But Clarence, I really encourage people to go to our website at latreasury.com, click on unclaimed property, because there's almost $800 million on the books. A lot of businesses, believe it or not, nonprofits, churches, city governments, municipalities. I mean, the list is endless, and we can do claims 24/7, and we never ever run out of time or money. There's just that much, and this gets replenished every year. It's about $80 million a year comes to the state every year. So and a lady told me yesterday, well, I got my check 10 years ago. I said, well, you could very easily have something left today. So there's not a better timing with everything going on, and there's not better time, and we're working really hard. We're gonna have another shot of money that comes out before the end of April.
So is there any particular preference being honored here? Is it going by a refund range, a smaller range of refunds? How are you determining who gets what expeditiously?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it is a range. And the smaller the dollar amount, the more claims you have. For instance, this $44,000, it probably averages a couple $100. The state average is about $900.
Right.
But the technology that we use, and it's a company out of Boston that we use, and it used to be, I think, $250 when I got there. So they would send it out automatically if it was $250. I raised it to $5,000 last week.
Wow.
So that way, it captured. I don't know the exact number yet because they have to do the work, but that should be done in the next 10 days. And before the end of April, we'll send out another round of about $10 million.
So if a Louisiana resident is watching right now, they go online or they call your office to see if the state is holding money for them. What's involved in the process, and what sort of time frame is involved in the turnaround of putting those dollars in their pocket?
Yeah, so it's a 90-day turnaround. I mean, Clarence, if you could imagine, I tell people it's like drinking water out of the Mississippi River one cup at a time. So even though we did 207,000 claims last year, if I doubled my staff, we could have done another 200. So we never ever run out of claims. So it's about a 90-day process. What we try to do when we run these little promotions is we try to get those out within 2 to 3 weeks. Because the system has done all its work. There's no paperwork for you to sign or anything. This money is just going to come directly to you. So we pay a company to actually do all the research, make all the connections, and then we just send the checks out. So we will continue to do that over the month of April. And like I said, we should send out another $10 million this month, which would bring us to about $14 million for the month.
Fantastic. So some people may still be wondering about the stimulus checks for individuals. As best you can tell, who needs to apply and who does not, and how do they go about it?
Well, I'm not the stimulus man. I wish I was. I don't know a whole lot about the program. What we've tried to do on our website at latreasury.com, if you click on it, on the top of the page, you'll see coronavirus resources.
Right.
And if you just click on that, and we are accumulating just every piece of information, every website, whether it's the stimulus, the CARE Act, SBA loans. You just click on that, and you'll see all the websites. And we're going to keep updating this on a daily, weekly basis, just to be a source of information. I mean, I don't run any of these programs.
Right.
My department doesn't have anything to do with any of these programs.
Right.
I mean, if I had $1 for every time somebody asked me a question that my department doesn't do, I could retire. So we realize as leaders that we can be a source of information, though. And so you just click on our website, and that's the best answer I could give you. Is, whether it's the stimulus checks, small business loans, tax relief, student loans, you name it, you can get to it from our website.
So what about state income taxes and business tax payments? Have any adjustments, quote unquote, been made in that regard, Treasurer?
Well, I know the Secretary Robinson, and that's in the Department of Revenue. I know they're making some adjustments on when you're going to have to file your taxes and pay your taxes and all that. And I haven't really read anything particular. And as I've told people too, look, the administration, look, I want to give them a lot of credit too. They've done a very good job at managing as best they can. But right now they're worried about this virus and keeping people safe and keeping people at home. And as I told the governor on Friday or Saturday morning, we're starting to look at the financial side of this thing and how the impact's going to be, and managing our money. And look, this is going to have a lasting effect on our budget.
Oh yeah.
We haven't really even had that conversation yet. So when you start taking, like $1 billion from a $10 billion pot, there's going to be some effect to that. So hopefully, when the stimulus checks do come, and my understanding, Clarence, of the program is if you file your taxes and you're under a certain limit, if you have direct deposit on file, these checks are coming straight to your checking account.
Yeah.
And it's a little different than what the feds have done in the past. There's going to be probably, close to $3 billion sent to this state, and a lot of it is either going directly to the people or directly to hospitals, directly to K-12 education. It's not going to pass through the state.
Right.
It's going straight to the entities, the public entities. So that's a little different than what they've done in the past.
Not to put you in the position of having to toot your own horn or pat yourself on the back, but since your inauguration, you have been zealously guarding this unclaimed property and ramping up efforts to get it back in the hands of the individuals that it belongs, never knowing that we would find ourselves in a situation like the COVID-19 pandemic, where every single dollar becomes that much more important to individual citizens in our state. Is that one of the reasons you got into public service, and does it feel pretty good now to say, wow, I'm glad I stood out on that limb to fight for the citizens of Louisiana?
Yeah, look, it's humbling, first of all, but it gives me goosebumps. I believe in public service strongly. I spent my time in the military. I was a narcotics agent after, and at 59, I've spent probably 20-something years now in some realm of public service. So as people are beginning to lose faith in government, I ran for office because I wanted to help restore some faith. And look, this program has helped me do that. And the timing could not have been better. I guess the sad part is, though, I would hope I wouldn't have to get on the radio and go on TV and spend money on advertising, that people would just go do it. This is real money. I mean, you don't have to do a whole lot to get it. It's owed to you already. So it is very humbling to be able to be a public servant, and I have to have one of the better jobs in all of state government, because I get to give money out to people.
Well, now that we have our show up and running television-wise, and we are pretty much statewide, 2/3 of the cable households in the entire state of Louisiana, when all of this starts to settle a little bit, maybe we'll do one of those old-fashioned shows that the Treasurer's Office has done for a while. We'll bring you and your folks in, and we'll broadcast statewide and let folks call in, and we'll check right then and there and find out how much money they have, so that we can continue the process of dispersing those funds all around the state where they need to go.
Well, we would be happy to do that, Clarence. Look, I appreciate you giving us the time to talk about it, because one of the things is, as I learned more and more about the whole unclaimed property program, I realized that this isn't supposed to be some golden goose for government.
Right.
And I strongly and vehemently am opposed to the state taking this money and spending it in the general fund. I don't believe it was ever intended to be spent in the state general fund, and that's probably something we talk about later.
Right.
But I am just hell-bent on returning every penny that I can because right now the result is it goes to the state general fund.
Right.
And I just don't think that's what the intent of this program was created for.
LATreasury.com is the website, and click on unclaimed property. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, sir. Just follow the directions, and not only you punch in your name, but you can punch in your other family names and friends, and shoot them a little email. Now, one thing what the site doesn't do, it doesn't tell you the exact amount of money. But I'll share this with you.
Okay.
If it says if it's $100 or more could be $101 or it could be $1 million.
Right.
You just never know.
Right.
And there is a lot of scam out there right now. So I tell people, if you get an email from some entity telling you for a fee they'll get you unclaimed property, don't do it.
Right.
There's no reason to do that. This is a free program that the Treasury runs for you. You don't have to pay somebody else to do this for you. If you have any questions, go to our website, get our phone number. You call us, shoot me on Facebook. I return my messages daily, and if we'll find a way to get you your money at the end of the day.
The guardian of Louisiana taxpayer dollars, State Treasurer John Schroeder. Great to hear your voice, sir. As always, great information. And thanks for looking out for the little guy. We appreciate that sincerely.
Well, you're welcome. It's my honor and my privilege to do that. So you guys stay safe, and when you're ready to do TV, just let us know.
Fantastic. Thank you kindly, Treasurer Schroeder.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too, sir. We're going to make it a point to do that. When all of the dust, proverbial dust, starts to settle on this, we're going to get Treasurer Schroeder on. And since we are covering a huge portion of the state now, we'll allow you to call in, give him your name. His staff can punch it in, find out if you've got some unclaimed property there or not. You, your loved ones, your spouse, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, guys, girls, it's your money, and it belongs in your pocket. Shouldn't go anyplace else, nor should there ever be any attempt to put it anyplace else. But when all is said and done, and for those of you saying, well, Clarence, if it's my money, why didn't they send it to me yet? Well, there could be a change of address problem. Keeping in mind, a lot of this unclaimed property, you're talking about a bank account that you forgot that you had, a savings account back when you lived in X address, a utility bill deposit that you may have forgotten about when you moved from one location to another, a telephone deposit, things like that, where the address on file is no longer the address where you currently live. Start to see the problem there? So the state is just holding on to this money. But they would love nothing more, as you heard our State Treasurer John Schroeder just say, than to put that money back in your hands. And quite frankly, because of the age of technology and the urgency of the moment, what is typically a 90-day process, they have now ramped up to where it is a 2 to 3 week process. So if you knew you had, a couple of $100 in unclaimed property, and you're saying to yourself, well, it's a 3-month process to get it, there's really no urgency to me getting in touch with them now, you might want to think again. Instead of 3 months, you can maybe get it in 3 weeks. And with all that's going on right now, I know for a fact there are a lot of folks out there that could use that money. We need to get our final break of today's show out of the way. We'll bang this one out, and we'll come back and we'll talk about some of the personal stories, some good, some bad, surrounding COVID-19 and our fellow Louisianians. Final break of today's show, and we're back to wrap up the Clarence Buggs Show, Monday edition, right where you've got it on the Pelican. Stay close.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now, I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11.
Abused and neglected children in East Baton Rouge Parish are in dire need of CASA volunteers. Please call 379-8598 today. Change a life of hurt into a life of hope.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back for the final segment of the Monday edition. Bill is not falling down around us, is it, Marty? All right. Well, if you don't run, I don't run. I'll be right here with you, brother. But on a serious note, guys, girls, we would appreciate if you help us spread the word. A lot of folks at home now, a lot of folks there with the kids, and of course, many people would be at work 10 a.m. to 12 noon and would not have the opportunity to watch the show. So let them know. Your buddy Clarence is back on air in an even larger and expanded capacity. And on top of that, there's a replay on Monday nights and Wednesday nights from 10 p.m. until 12 midnight. And don't forget my buds, the rest of the band, Louisiana's Talk Team, the Exiles, as they call themselves, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher in the very same spot, at the very same desk, doing the very same thing on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'd love to have you along for the ride because, after all, you're Louisiana, we're Louisiana. What more needs to be said? So, before the day's over, if you would, download the Pelican Broadcasting app. It's in the App Store. And, of course, just remember PelicanSportsTV.com for the website and streaming. A couple of sad notes from the COVID-19 pandemic. A member of the Saints universe, arguably, for us long-timers, the most cherished Saint, because this guy gave us a ray of hope when they were hard to come by if you are a diehard Saints fan. Saints legendary kicker Tom Dempsey passing away this weekend after his battle with COVID-19. You may remember Lambeth House, the nursing facility, was one of the spots that was particularly hard hit. Well, it just so happened that Saint legend Tom Dempsey was a resident at Lambeth House, was there, had been battling Alzheimer's and dementia, and unfortunately succumbed to complications from COVID-19. 73 years young was Tom Dempsey. We all remember him for November 8th, 1970, against the Detroit Lions, 63-yard field goal. That record held for 43 years. It was tied previously, but not broken until 2013. It was a 19-17 come-from-behind win, and I guess all of us can, at least us old-timers and us boomers, we can think back to, and this is one of those things, landmarks that let us know how time has passed and how old all of us are getting in Tulane Stadium, the venerable Tulane Stadium. We all remember that quirky facility prior to the New Orleans Superdome, now the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. But it was one of those moments that gave us hope for that franchise, when hope was just something that was so very hard to come by. Also, those of you that know anything about me, you know that I'm an Army brat. I am a product of a man who loved his country and instilled within me love of God and country, law enforcement, and all the things that fall under that umbrella. Our heartfelt condolences to the family of Sergeant Gregory Warren of the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Department, succumbing this past weekend to complications from COVID-19. He was a former Marine, and those of you that served in the Corps, forgive me. We often hear people say former Marine, and then you'll hear someone from the Corps holler, once a Marine, always a Marine, hoorah! So he was a Marine and 26-year veteran of the East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Department. So certainly keep that family, Sergeant Gregory Warren, in both your thoughts and your prayers, because he was a gentleman that spent his life serving and protecting other people, our country, our freedoms, our liberties as a whole, and protecting us from the bad guys here in the state of Louisiana. He certainly will be sorely missed. It is something that we're going to be dealing with for a while, guys and girls. But again, I am one of those that firmly believes this too shall pass. And before you know it, we will be in the next chapter. We'll be dealing with post-COVID-19. I just hope that we will all spend this time wisely so that we end up better as a result of what we've gone through. That being said, you know what I say. You know what? I'll give it to you. You're right. America, we're not perfect. But doggone it, for my money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, either way, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. I'll make you a deal. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other, and we'll do it again on Wednesday. God bless.